What's up? What's up? What's up? I actually don't know what to do today, bro. I low-key have been running out of video ideas. I want to talk about one of my previous relationships, but I low-key just realized that I don't know, it's a bit too much personal information that I'm gonna be giving out. Still. I recently watched this video on like being a personal trainer taught me about women. Taught me what being and a related video by Sembry Fit, what being a jackman taught me about women.
I'll tell y'all, being a personal trainer at these luxury gyms, Equinox, Boston Sports Clubs in Wellesley, Massachusetts. Look up Wellesley, Massachusetts. Like I would say it's top two, top three, like wealthiest city in Boston. Like when I was a trainer at these places, especially when I was in college, because that was my crazy. But I would have these crazy experiences where, obviously I'm a trainer, I'm here to make money, I'm making money, and I'm working with these women, and they start to get really flirtatious, right? And you start to wonder because you know that they're married because they came with their husbands in that consultation. Their husbands were sitting in that consultation. Their husbands were egging them on to actually be trained by me, and they were all for it. And then once the husband left and they were just me and them in the gym, right? They would start to, say flirtatious things. They say, "Oh, you're so attractive. Like, oh, your muscles. I love how you look. Like, oh my God, like you're so amazing. I wish my husband was like that." And they would start to say things like this in the beginning, right? And I would work with these women for about 3 to 6 months, right? Nothing crazy. But as the weeks went on, the flirtations got more and more and more and more and more, right? To the point where it just got to a point where I'm like, "You're married." Like I wouldn't tell them this, but in my head, I'm like, "You're married. Like how could you be this flirtatious? Like how could you be egging me on so much?"
The thing is like, when I imagine this type of scenario, it's like typical, typical, I don't know, grinder guy, finance bro, you can say. Typical bro goes to the office all day, works like 18 hours, has no time for his wife and children. And what their wives do is to kind of seek out that attention, male attention from elsewhere. And especially if you're not like a really fit person, like it's just a primal instinct, like as a man and as a girl, like you would want to mate with someone who is like in good physical shape because they're healthy and like you see why it makes sense for our ancestors to think that way, and then it makes sense for us to think that way as well because we're low key the same software. Um, yeah, so like if you're not fit and you're not giving your woman attention, she's probably gonna leave you for someone else. Like yesterday, I went to academy, like football, and then this guy was talking about how his girlfriend of 3 years broke up with him. Mind you, he's 14, by the way. So I don't know. And then he's charged showing me his like Apple running stats. He's like, yo, I ran like 4 kilometers today. I'm like, yeah, good for you, buddy. But like the only thing I said to him is like, just give it time, you'll be fine. Um, yeah, low key, the moment he said that like, oh, we were in a relationship for 3 years and then she just broke up out of nowhere. I'm like, yeah, she found someone else, bro. I'm not even gonna lie, she found someone else. And then I just said it like I don't know why I said it, but then he proceeded to show me like one of his friends proceeded to show me some of the chats that he had, and then he had the same suspicion as well that like she's following some other guy on Instagram. So I don't know what to do with that information. Like, yeah, sometimes girls do be doing that. Like, um, the other video that I was talking about of like this one, well, being a DACT teacher taught me about women. This guy talks about like when he was not so fit, he would be disrespected a lot more. And then when he was jacked after like COVID and everything, like the overall behavior towards him changed a lot. And like, yeah, I guess it makes sense. Like,
I'll tell y'all.
people do be doing that sometimes. I used to look quite fat as a kid, like most of my teenage. I was quite fat. Up until like 2025, I want to say I wasn't really fit at all. Um, yeah, and like ever since if you look good, if you're healthy and you're like you're fit, I feel like that's basically it. You pretty much don't need to do anything else. Like you'll have a lot of things where like women will just come up to you. Um, and that happens sometimes. And like on a side note, I also watched this other video on like what was it? It was about like guys friend zone, like four types of guys friend zones. I don't know. Yeah, four types of friendship. Women have with
Hey,
some men have with women, and like so this he kind of made like a chart of like having having like a four types of friend zones, or like, oh, you're the long game friend, or like you're just being a friend until you get a chance to hit. Down if you're down kind of makes sense. The guy friend zone is like, oh, you treat them like one of the guys, and the friend who might as well be a sister is like even closer. Like me personally, I don't agree with this because like when I meet someone, like it's instantly decided within like our first few interactions whether you're in the friend zone or you're in the potential mating zone. And if you're in the potential mating zone, you're not going in the friend zone. Like I will make that clear. I guess that's just me because like I don't think this way. Like for me, only these two friend zones exist. Like I don't play this either. Like if I know that I can see someone as a potential partner, I will not put them in the friend zone in any way possible. But the thing is, like most of my like friends who are girls, they actually have no sort of system like that, bro. Like they'll be in the friend zone, or I'll be in the friend zone, and they'll just keep hitting on me. Like I think at this point, three of my friends who are girls have had some sort of phase where they go on like me. I think the third one had the biggest one where she like saw my slides and like she was like, "Oh, your slides are really cute, bro." I want to show you my slides, bro. My slides were like this, bro. Literally the basic bare minimum. I did nothing. I did absolutely nothing. And she was like, "Oh, gang, your slides are, your like slides are so cute." What the fuck, bro? Like, I'm telling you, girls have zero risk. I'm not even gonna lie,
to
bro.
talk to a lot of these guys who were in these services industries, right? They would have their own personal masseuse who was a male. They would have their own trainer who was a male. They'd have their own gardener who was a male. They'd have all these male services around them, right? Clearly for a reason. It never was just that, right? It never was just for just like their actual trade work that they did. But as I was talking to them more, I would try to understand what was going on at home because that would give me a good understanding of why they act the way that they act. Because I do believe that women who feel neglected or who feel like they're just sitting at home and just like their husband is out doing whatever he's doing, again, respectful, because he's going out, he's going on business trips. Who knows what he's doing on these business trips, of course. But like, he's bringing in money, right? She's living this
Yeah.
comfortable lifestyle. Why would you talk to a 19-year-old personal trainer who's in college still?
Yo, like the thing is, as a guy, you have to know, like, I think somewhat to some extent, every man needs to know how to play the game and how it works, bro. Like, because if you don't, like, unless you find like a one of one really rare women, it's probably not gonna work out. Like, you need to know how to play the game, bro. Like, you need to know how like the basic things that you need to have to at least have a sort of competitive level
Like, why
like in that industry, bro.
would you do that? You know what I mean? So it always hit me in the back.
Like it's not just money, bro. You can be slightly less rich, but if you're fit, um if you good looking and you have like good physical attributes, that still plays like a big part in like what women want and like how funny you want or like how you make her feel and like how you treat them. It's like a lot of this stuff kind of does go into it.
Back of my
Like it's not just money. Like surely if you're like a billionaire, then you'll probably have like a fake relationship. But then again, like to have someone truly like be invested in you, like money's not the only thing.
my head, like, what's going on? Like, why are you choosing to talk to me versus the guy who's rich? Don't women like rich guys? Don't they only want money?
No.
And when I started to read,
Especially if like, you're a rich woman, money don't do nothing for you. So they actually like will actively look out for slightly, even slightly poorer guys, but they have better physical attributes because that's what most rich people like don't have. Like if you're super posh, you probably don't like your life was very not like realistically your life was not physical. You didn't do up doing labor or anything like that. You didn't have to do your chores or go play with your friends. Like I don't think rich people do that a lot. Like sure if you're into sports and everything, you're fit, but like if you think of a typical posh person like from England or something in the 1800s, I don't think they're pretty. I don't think they were pretty fit because even if you look at the portraits and everything, like you can quite clearly see how out of shape they were.
really analyze this, I noticed that the money was kind of like a safety net for them. They want the rich guys because the rich guys have the money that will give them the lifestyle that they want. But the fun comes in with the guy who may not be rich.
It's like it's like two sides. Every person has like the heart and the brain. Like they're probably married to the rich guy because their brain says, "Oh, this guy is rich," and like, yeah, green flag for the brain. So it makes sense to be with them. But then their heart's like more primal instincts, and like if as a man you gotta have to satisfy both. Like to be honest.
But also has a certain personality and has a certain edge to him that they're super attracted to, more of like the high testosterone guy, right? That like they just have like this crazy fondness of, they fantasize over. A lot of women fantasize over the personal trainer. They fantasize over the masseuse that touches them a little bit in a certain way and they get excited and they want to do this and they want to do that. I'm not saying all women, but that happens consistently. And it got to a certain point where I was really just asking so many questions about their relationships, and they would open up. They would say a lot. They say, "Oh, well, you know, he doesn't last very long. Like it's kind of boring. Like I've never orgasmed in my sex life at all." Like they would just like throw this shit out there, and they would bash the guy so much. And in my head, I'm like, "But he's a million."
But he's a millionaire. But it low-key doesn't matter, bro, because you have to satisfy both sides. Like even as a even as a guy, like say you see a 10 out of 10 baddie, but she doesn't have a good personality, or you know that like she's not a good person. Obviously, the heart says your primal instincts like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck that shit, but your brain is gonna go like, no, that's not long-term sustainable. Um, so like I feel like it's not even just women. I feel like both sexes, people in general, when they're looking for a partner, they look for someone who ticks off both their heart and their brain. Um, Obviously, more some people are more inclined to use their brain, some people are more inclined to use their heart, and then they'll have variations. But you can't deny that both are present in people. Like both sides are present in people, and if a person satisfies both of them, then they're most likely to be a good partner.
Millionaire. Like,
Like it's not just women, bro.
bro, when I tell you, Wellesley, Massachusetts, billionaires out there, right? There are. I remember when I was waiting tables, because I did a little bit of serving at the country club, the Wellesley Country Club. The CEO of Bank of America was there. I'll never forget that. I didn't even know who he was. I served him, right? And these are the types of guys that live there. Like all the NBA players live there, everything, right? And all of their wives, I'm not saying his wife or I'm not saying any NBA player's wife, but like a lot of these rich guys' wives would go to these trainers and they would flirt with them and they would do things with them. And it always puzzled me because I'm like, you have something safe at home. why are you coming here and taking the risk with somebody? What if he finds out? Right? But then obviously, they have probably half of whatever the guy has, and they feel like they can do whatever they want. And it was just crazy to experience this stuff. And they would always talk about how like he doesn't necessarily listen to me, he doesn't pay enough attention to me. I always feel like I'm alone.
Yo, low key, that also comes down to like, I feel like you can blame the man even more here. It's like, to be honest, like, if you want to get married with someone who's your equal. Like, don't get married with someone who you can like, who's too above you or like, who's too controlling or like, yeah, certainly like, look for a decent person. At least know that they're a person of good character. At least know that like, you can trust them. Like, and like they won't give into their stupid shit. Like it's okay to be upset with your man, but like doing shit like that is probably not acceptable. Like you can be upset and still not do this stuff that like he's talking about. So like you really have to you really have to look for the right person. Like just don't just marry anyone, bro.
With the
Please.
kids. Like I just like want to have some fun, right? And it's tough to hear this as a man because you're like, man, what if this shit happens to me? Which again, it can happen to anybody. It can happen to me, it can happen to you, it can happen to anybody. It doesn't fucking matter. The reality is it is a possibility, right? But what I've also noticed is it's a possibility that can be reduced if you're a man who can basically do more, right? And again, this is going to piss off a lot of guys. They're like, why do I have to do more? I just don't want to date women at all. Go ahead. Don't do that, right? That's your prerogative. But I take that as a masculine man, I take that as a challenge. Like how can I be somebody who's also fun, cool to talk to, like can actually give the woman a good experience while also getting the money as well, right? It's good to have both. But a lot of these guys will be so focused on their careers, which again, respect to them because that's super important. But the women would be on the side just fucking around, right? Idle's mind is the devil's playground is what I learned. Because as they're doing these exercises, they're pointing their butt out a certain way. They want to do more squats. All of a sudden, they want you to get right behind them. They want you to do all these different things. And I just realized, man, I'm like, if you're a dude and you let your woman like go be with like a male trainer or like a male masseuse or any of these different services, you're kind of cooked at the end of the day, especially if you're a grinder, if you're somebody who's really working hard and building and you're not at home very often. The likelihood of something happening is a lot higher. And I didn't realize this until I went through that process. And once I started to understand, like, it's not about the money. It's not. It's about the fun. It's about the thrill. It's about the emotional roller coaster. A lot of these guys, when I would meet them, when they would come and sit down at like, we would do halfway point reviews and stuff like that. And like they'd want to renew and everything. They would be so excited that I'm working with them. They're like, man, you're doing so great.
The thing is, I think it's just people, bro. Like obviously in the modern world, you don't need a man who can like protect you and everything, but like we're still built on the same heart like genes and like same biology as like primal instincts. So like that really doesn't go away. And at the end of the day, no matter how much money you have, like the heart always remains. Like no matter how much brain you have, the heart will always remain. And I feel like because we're people, it tends to be that the heart will have its way too. So like you just gotta know yourself, know people in general, like that you wouldn't want to be friends with a bum, right? Because in your brain you're like, oh, if I hang out with this person, I'm gonna pick up bad habits. But then again, you wouldn't want to be friends with like a super high performing individual if you don't even vibe with them. So like even if you're making friends, like you gotta have both sides, right? You gotta have both sides matching up. Like, yo, he's cool and like he doesn't bring me down. Like I vibe with him, so like I can be friends with him. So like even in a male to male interaction or a female to female interaction or a male to female interaction, like it kind of this kind of like shows up everywhere, and you just have to realize that. Um, that like the brain ain't the only part of the body. Like the brain isn't the only part of a person that decides everything, right? So
looks so amazing, et cetera, right? And it's like they just didn't understand what was going on behind the scenes. It like could not even be possible in their mind that their wife would be flirting with a 19-year-old personal trainer. Like what? Like I have the money. Of course she's attracted to me. It's like no. And by the
no,
way, a lot of these guys were fat. A lot of these guys were fat, out of shape. I was like, man, I'll train both of you guys. I jokingly
yeah, like if, cause like if I think if the guy took up that offer, it like low-key being fit does something to your psychology. I don't know what it does, bro, but like when you're fit, you can, I don't know, maybe your hormones are different, which influences you to think differently and like be different. But like, yeah, if you're fit, you're in your mental prime as well, because you have all those good hormones that like help you be better. Yeah, I guess.
say this in the consultations. I'll be like, hey, I can train both of you guys. Actually, that'd be dope. And of course, the woman would be like, no. It's just for me. It's just for me. It's just for me. And the guy would be like, yeah. She can have that. I'm good. Now, what's crazy is the woman would want to get in better shape. The man would not. As she got in better shape, she would start to look in different directions, right? I would see the same woman looking at other trainers as well, not just me. I'm not saying that I'm like this Casanova or nothing like that. It was just the idea of being with somebody who was in shape, somebody who was young, somebody who looked adventurous, somebody who looked like they were just living life just on the edge. Like that's what they were looking for, you know? And so it got to a certain point where I just realized it's not all that it seems to be. Like chasing money is great to be able to chase a fulfilled life when it comes to like your
I bet if money was the only thing that mattered in relationships, why would poor people ever get married? Why wouldn't poor girls like yeah, like they're gonna have, maybe some of them just don't find like rich guys to marry, but like why would you find genuine love in like poor relationships? Like, or why would you find genuine love in like where money isn't involved? Like, it's because there are other factors, bro.
finances to make sure that you're not stressed all the time. But it gets to a certain point where all of your life as a man has to be balanced, right? And it's like you can have the greatest woman in the world, but if you neglect her completely, she's going to go awry. She's going to start doing other shit because they need attention. All of them do. It's normal for them to want attention. But it was just crazier to see these rich women.
I think every type of, not just women, every relationship deserves attention. Like even your friendships. Like if you don't talk to your homeboy for 5 years, I mean, if you, yeah, I feel like a close relationship does require a lot of attention. If you don't give it, then like you won't receive it either. So the relationship just ends, bro.
Women who had the money who wanted people who didn't have the money. All the trainers around me also were kind of similar to me financially. Like we weren't balling, probably making around 50K a year, 40K a year doing the training stuff at the gym. You know how the gym works. Like you get paid probably 20%, if best, of what they're paying you per session, right? The going rate for those gyms that I was working at, the Equinox one in San Francisco, was $200 a session, right? Crazy, $200 a session. The one in Wellesley in Boston, Massachusetts was around $90 a session, $90 to $100 a session. So these were like higher price things. And so we would get a small percentage of that. We'd only get 20%. And I just understood. I was like, man, it's not what the whole like idea of women, like it just shattered my idea. Like it helped me understand that like you are not safe even with money. If you're one dimensional, if you only have money, you're not safe. You gotta have multiple different attributes to you that wow the woman. You have to be in her fantasy consistently of as a man.
It goes both ways though. Like I don't know, like as a man, but like as a person in general. This is really like polarized. I don't know. I personally I think like this video is highly polarized towards men and like being a man and stuff, but like I feel like being a better person in general comes with that. Like I wouldn't date someone who's super rich, but then she's fat. Like I just wouldn't, cause I know that like my like low-key, no, I don't even know what I'm about, bro.
Like,
What I'm trying to say is like it's not just guys who have to do it, like girls have to do it to some extent too. So like don't be like thinking that like, oh, I'm a man and why do I have to suffer and like yada yada. I think it goes both ways. Like I'm pretty sure women have the equivalent of that as well. Like they're probably facing some sort of dilemma, especially if you're dating someone. Like if you're looking for someone who's an equal to you. I don't even know what I'm talking about, bro.
if you're jacked, you're in shape, and you're also making money, and you're also charismatic, and you're also super competent in other areas of life, she will always be attracted to you for the most part. And you have the freedom to be able to do things with her and have adventures with her. Like a lot of these women would always tell me like, oh yeah, we go on vacation like once a year, you know, because he's always traveling for work and stuff like that, and I'm always like with the kids and all.
If you're fit, you probably have more drive, and that drive leads you to do stuff that like you wouldn't normally do if you weren't fit, and that leads to a better relationship. So you see how that connection goes.
All of that. And they would tell me everything about their relationships, everything about their lives. And I would feel so bad for these guys because maybe they knew, maybe they didn't know. Maybe they just didn't give a fuck, honestly. Because I've also come across a lot of guys who are well off that don't give a fuck what their woman does because they're also doing some shit on the side and they're really just there to build the family, build the legacy, and just do whatever, right? This would typically happen. But it would be so interesting to understand how these women think and how they view their relationship and how they don't give a fuck about their relationship and how they see their relationship as almost a crutch to their life versus like something that is actually a benefit for them. I mean, they're benefiting with the money. They're benefiting with the guy who's ambitious, right? But they want the other things. They want the intangible thing or the tangible things that aren't necessarily as important as the money. And as I started to learn this, even when I was at Equinox, it was the same exact pattern, the same exact scenario. These rich women would come around. They would talk.
You don't have to like, he titled this thing "Being in Her Fantasy." Like, bro, it's not that complicated. I think women are not that complicated, bro. They're just people at the end of the day. Like, just try to look at it from their perspective. I think you'll see life a lot clearly when you try to look at it from other people's perspectives, bro.
They would over.
Like, you don't have to be in her fantasy. You can just be like, you don't have to consciously like think about that. You can just follow your primal instincts and satisfy her primal wants, because like every person has that. Like it's just built into us, bro. It's just hardwired. Like when you're in love, no one tells you to think about the other person, right? You automatically think about them and you're texting them or like you hit them up or whatever. So like, yeah, I feel like the more tapped in you are with like your primal side, I feel like you don't even have to think about like being in her fantasy, yada yada, bro. Like it just happens automatically, bro.
Over talk about their conversations with their husband.
You can do both, yes you can. I'm actually gonna skip over these parts. We are attracted to women. Yeah, I am. I don't know about y'all. Make the money. I don't know. I don't know about that one. Final thoughts.
Like if you're
Like,
a high.
make the money is not necessarily an object, especially if you're dating someone who's already from like a rich background. They don't care about money, bro. Like, honestly, you hear so many stories of like some poor guy rising up for like a rich girl, just because like they're just they're just tapped in like that, bro. They're just locked in, and like fair play to them. And you see the going the other way around as well. Like you see rich girls getting with, oh sorry, you see rich guys getting with poor girls, and like yeah. So like at the end of the day, I don't think like as being a certain gender doesn't assign you to like a certain role in life. Like You just gotta think about it from like the other person's perspective, and like things just make sense. Like things will make sense. Trust they will, bro. And I think this is what uh this is what this video was about. And yeah, I think I made all the contributions that I could. It's a 30-minute video. Fuck me, bro. But I'm still gonna upload it. See y'all tomorrow, bro. Maybe. Maybe. Maybe, bro. I'm getting so lazy during these recordings, bro.